All right, it's now time to build our first React component, that is the banner component. Now, what is a banner component? Banner component in our Coffee Connoisseur app is three things: the title, subtitle, and a button. Title would be Coffee Connoisseur, subtitle would be Discover Your Local Coffee Shops, and lastly, button would be this one, which is the View Stores Nearby. But check this out. When you click on it, it does change its text to loading. So we do want this button to be configurable. At the same time, you should be able to click on it as well. So we need some sort of an handler. So let's code. All right. So now we do know about pages, right? Pages are essentially anything that we can route to. But in the case of banner component, it's not something that we can route to. It is placed on the home page itself. So we should create a directory called components, where all our components that we create throughout this project would live there. So let's go ahead and do that. It should be in the root, so components. All right, let's create a new file called banner.js. And in this file is going to be a simple React component. So it will be banner. And we can just return a div with banner text for now. And let's make sure to export it so we can render it on the home page. All right. So as simple as that. On the index page now, let's go ahead and render it inside the main tag. Now, as I do that, let's go ahead and import banner from the components directory. All right, sweet. Now let's take a look at our homepage. There you go. Banner has been rendered. Now it's time to go ahead and add more properties to our banner. So a banner component has three things. One is the header tag. The second is the subtitle, which will be under P tag, and third is the button. So in the header tag, let's go ahead and add Coffee Connoisseur. And in the P tag, it will be Discover Your Local Coffee Shops. Lastly, in the button, it would be just as simple as View Stores Nearby. All right, sweet. Now, one thing to note in the header itself is that right here, the first one is white in color, whereas Connoisseur is actually in a different color. So let's make sure we split them up in the header tag. So I'm going to create a span for this so we can add styling. So thinking a bit ahead right here. And another span for this, and we can style it separately. All right, beautiful. It adds a space here, but we will let styling take care of the spacing. All right, let's go to our browser and check it out. Beautiful. So you can already see that we have the subtitle, the title, and a button right here. But it doesn't look good at all. So let's go ahead and add some styling to it. So what I'm going to do is, before I go ahead and create a CSS module, let's go ahead and give it some class names. So let's say class name styles.container. And we need to make sure that we are importing styles from a file that we will create called banner.module.css. All right, now that we have imported this, let's go ahead and continue with our class name. So let's say class name styles.title, and let's call these two as title1 and title2. And this would be title2. And for the subtitle, let's give it a class name styles.subtitle. And similarly, lastly, the button itself would be button. All right, sweet. Now that we have all the styling, let's go ahead and create a new banner.module.css. Now, banner.module.css is a CSS module, and we will paste all our styling right here. But before we do that, let's make the button text configurable. So let's add properties. So I'm going to declare props right here. And in this props, we would create two props, one for the button text and second for the handler. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's create a prop for the button text. So here we can say props.button text. And in index.js where we declare it, let's also pass in button text right away. Beautiful. Let's go to the browser and it still looks good. All right, now the next thing, let's do a on-click handler. And let's take the handler from the button itself. So I'm going to say handle on click. And again, index.js should also pass in the prop handle on click. Now over here, what we can do is we can just create a function, handle on banner button click function. And let's declare that function right here. So it's just going to print console log because we can configure this button later, right? So I'm just going to hit console log and say, hi, banner button. Beautiful. All right. Now that we have configured all of this, the only thing remaining is styling, but let's first test it out. And I'm going to open up my browser console. As we do that, let's click the button few stores nearby. And there you go. Beautiful. So the button has been hooked up. Now you can see that Coffee Connoisseur has been repeated twice. So let's just remove the one from the home page as we have moved it to the banner. So we can just remove this. All right, sweet. And the last thing remaining is styling, which we will take a look at in the next lesson. So see you in the next one.